You know, with leadership comes great responsibility. You're responsible for those people that you have in your organization. But how responsible are you for them? You may say, well, I'm not responsible for their personal lives and things like that. Yeah, maybe not. But certainly at work, you're responsible for them. But I will say this, if you are a Christian leader, then you have another level of responsibility to those people, and that would be to kind of like shepherd them, for a lack of a better term. To take care of them, not only in business, not only in your organization, but also personally. They're people. And I say this all the time when I'm working with organizations, is like, your employees are people. Remember that they are people. You pinch them and they hurt. You cut them, they bleed. They're hurting. They maybe have something going on in their lives. They're having relationship issues, or something's going on in their life, and that's why they're not doing well at your organization, possibly. One of the companies I worked for here locally had a guy, and I'll just call him Wade. Wade was about ready to get fired, and I asked the owner of the company, hey, let me take him and just kind of work with him. And Wade, at the time, was a meth addict. I didn't know that because I've not been in the drug culture, but he looked pretty bad. He was living in his car. He had about $200 a week, or $200 a month that he cleared because all his money went to child support. He had a couple of kids, he was divorced. His breakfast was usually Mountain Dew. His lunch was another Mountain Dew. The guy was death warmed over. And I asked if I could take him under my wing and work with him. So I brought him in my office and I started working with Wade. And Wade was just slumped in the chair. He's about 30 years old. And I'm trying to work with him. I'm trying to get him to have some goals. Wade, what are some of your goals? I don't know. Well, what do you want to do in your life? I mean, well, I want to get back together with my kids. I want a better job. I want more money. Okay, well, let's start with that. We started with that, and I said, what can you do with your kids? How can you get your kids back? What can you start doing? I don't know. Well, what are some little things you can do? What can you do? Well, I said, when's their birthday? Well, coming up, such and such date. Could you get them something? No, I guess. How about a card? Yeah, I guess I could do a card. So he just started doing this. I started working with him and working on his goals. He had these goals. Now, he didn't say he wanted to get off meth, because I didn't know he was on meth. That would have been a good place to start, right? So through the months, I started working with him, and he started coming alive. I would tell him when he was sitting in my office, Wade, you matter. Your life matters. He told me his story. His dad abandoned him when he was little. He got in a fight with his mom. His mom didn't accept him, and so he felt rejected. And I listened to him, and I empathized with his story. I said, man, you didn't deserve that as a kid growing up. You deserve to have a dad, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But your life matters. You have value. I believe in you, Wade. And I kept telling them those same things over the months. I get shivers going up my spine. A year later, he's off meth. Now, I just could tell, and I found out later that, oh, is that what was going on? Oh, man. He wasn't living in his car anymore. He actually moved up at work. He's about ready to get fired. Remember when I started working with him, he moved up to another position that he wanted, that he was actually qualified for, but he was on drugs before and he couldn't do it. Well, now he could do it. He was making more money. He was becoming part of the department. He was an outspoken member of that department, and he was doing very well. And another year or so later, he actually got cherry-picked by a global company that puts in laser equipment and laser. So he became a laser tech, and the guy is traveling around the country doing I've seen him on Facebook. He's got a new car, he's got an apartment, he's with his kids now, both kids. His mom is talking to him again, and his life is just, I even just texted him recently. I said, Wayne, I've been looking at your Facebook posts, and I'm proud of you. He's 36 years old, and it sounds kind of weird, but I said, I'm proud of you. And he wrote back, I said, thanks for everything. So what did I do with Wade? I cared for him. I took him where he was and just said, you have value, because he did. Now you may look at him and say, phew, but he did. And he's a productive member of society today.